Hey guys, Magikarp here with another Epic 7 video. In this video, we'll cover the Selective Summon and how to fast track your account from there all the way to clearing Wyvern 13. Wyvern 13 is considered by most the real start of the game, and it's really important to clear as soon as possible since it enables you to gear units with endgame gear. Having access to endgame gear then lets you at least be somewhat competitive in GVG and Arena and start earning better and better rewards. I will quickly talk about the selective summon, and then I will show you where to get each of the 4 units needed to clear Wyvern 13, their artifacts, and gearing them all completely free to play. So without further ado, let's get into it. First off, let's start with the selective summon. I'll try my best to make this part really short, and I won't waste any time going into all the different arguments around it. Basically, all you need to look for on the selective summon is Sigret. It makes no difference which artifacts or other units you get alongside her. You don't get her in the 30 tries you're given, just reset your account and try again. The game devs made the reroll process really simple. You just have to clear 4 stages and skip a few cutscenes each time you reroll the account, so you really shouldn't have any problems there. You can skip cutscenes by tapping the screen, and to skip tutorials, you just have to not tap on the screen for a few seconds and a skip option will appear on the top right. And that's it for the selective summon guide. Now let's talk about how you can go from the selective summon to auto farming the highest hunt and earning endgame gear all in under 2 weeks. It is important to note that for the purpose of this video, I will clear Wyvern 13 using only 2 6-stars, only 4-star awakens, and what I consider minimum skill enhancements. But definitely feel free to go further on your own to make your runs even more consistent. We will be using Angelica as our tank since the requirements to get her are really easy and her base stats are great. Most new accounts will need a solid Soul Weaver in any case to clear most PvE content, and by making her our Wyvern tank we can tackle both problems at once. If I had to rank Angelica among all the units that would tank Wyvern 13, I'd rank her third behind Rose and General Burgess, which is still fairly high for a free-to-play unit. Our main DPS will be Sigret, which we kept from the selective summon. I chose to use Mui as a sub DPS since this unit seems to have been designed specifically to farm Wyvern. He brings 3 different debuffs, constant team CR push, and surprisingly good damage. And for our last unit, I went with Terranar Guard. Although this unit isn't very exciting nor best in slot, nonetheless he gets the job done. With constant armor breaks and dual attacks he can really speed up your runs. However, if you end up pulling Clarissa before you invest into Terranar Guard, then I'd highly recommend using her instead, since she is simply better in every metric. To get both Mui and Terranar Guard, and some of the 3-star artifacts I will be covering in this video, I'd highly recommend new players to spend their Skystones buying this 950 summon box every time they can afford it. Now let's talk about artifacts. We will be using Envoy's Pipe on Angelica. For our 3 DPS, we will be using Daydream Joker only if we already have 85% crit chance and 65% effectiveness. We will be using Ascending Axe if our effectiveness is already 65% but our crit is too low. And finally, we will be using Flower Shower if our effectiveness is less than 65%. For this artifact specifically, make sure you keep 2 separate copies instead of combining them all into one, just in case both Sigret and Terranar Guard require more effectiveness. Now that we covered the artifacts, let's get into gearing. All 24 of these pieces I have equipped are preset pieces that will always have the same main stat and substats. However, they will roll randomly as you enhance them to plus 15, which is why it's important to balance the stats on each unit using the correct artifact. By day 6 of playing the game, you should have collected both the attack set box and the health set box, which accounts for the first 10 pieces we will be using in gearing our units. Completing Beautiful Pursuer gets you another 6 pieces that we will be using. Clearing the third stage of Remarkable Adventurer gets us yet another 3 pieces. And then, clearing Remarkable Adventurer fully gets us one more piece, which totals to 20 pieces out of the 24 we will use. And for the last 4 pieces, we will hunt down one by one. We will go grab the Pegasus boots from the gold chest in 10-3, the Sacred Hero boots from the gold chest in Zone 5 of the second labyrinth, this speed ring from the Victory Season box in the Conquest shop, and finally this Destruction ring from the Chapter 7 AP shop in Sidonia. I also highly recommend doing hunt dispatch missions and lots of labyrinths to buy accessory charms, otherwise you might struggle enhancing all the accessories to plus 15. Most of the gears icons are unique enough that you should be able to find it and equip it similar to this setup. You will have 2 of this ring. Make sure the one that has an effectiveness roll is equipped and not the other. This necklace also comes in 2 versions, one with effectiveness and one without. You can freely swap them depending on which unit needs more effectiveness. That's pretty much it for gearing. Now I just want to briefly cover skill enhancements. I would recommend +4, +4, +2 on Sigret as a minimum. I'd recommend +4, +2, +2 on Terranar Guard, +4, +2, +4 on Mui, and skill enhancements on Angelica are completely optional. And that concludes the Wyvern 13 guide, but please direct any questions you may have in the comment section below and I would happily clarify things further. Now before signing off, I wanted to share with you some data from 45 Wyvern runs that I've done on this account and what expectations should be like. These are all 15 auto battles, and you can safely assume that every 20 stigma earned is a clear, which means 11 out of the 15 were clears. We can see 200 stigma earned here, which means 10 out of the 15 runs were cleared. And in the last 15 runs, we only cleared 9, which means out of all 45 runs, we cleared 30. Considering there are plenty of ways to improve our consistency, such as awakens, skill enhancements, and exclusive equipment, starting out with a 66% success rate is actually pretty solid. The goal of this guide was just to show you the shortest path forward, so don't worry too much if it's taking you longer to put up all the gear. Just play at your own pace and enjoy the game, and eventually you will get there. And once again, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.